And right now on WRAL News, breaking news in Sampson County. The child at the center of an Amber Alert has been found. Thank you for joining us. I'm Deborah Morgan.
And I'm David Crabtree. All of this unfolded in the past 20 minutes or so let's get straight to WRAL's Gilbert Bays live on the scene. Gilbert, the little 10-year-old is okay. Did you see her? Could you tell what condition she was in?
No, David, I have not seen her because of where she was actually located. But I've got Sampson County Sheriff Jimmy Thornton here. Jimmy, did you see the child?
Yeah, she's in good shape. Rescue checked her out. Everything's fine. All vitals are perfect. No problems.
We've been following this all day here. And, of course, when you have a child missing, law enforcement, your hearts go out here.
Totally.
Well, give us nuts and bolts on how this evolved, where you were able to find it.
Well, we got a call, I guess, close to 5 o'clock about a suspicious vehicle stuck here on Harper Street. Then we got, and they gave the description of the vehicle as being a red vehicle. So the vehicle we were looking was red, and officers came out, Clinton Police Department, and they jumped and ran in the woods.
And you understand you had dogs and
yes.
drones up and everything?
Yeah, we had a tracking dog that followed them, I don't know, maybe 300 yards, 250 yards from where the vehicle was stuck, going parallel with Highway 403.
And did Mr. Jones offer any resistance when you got captured him?
I'm not sure. I won't in the woods, but he was kind of mouthy, so chances are he was a little bit resistant.
This started last night when the child was taken. Just tell us how that happened and why that happened. We got a phone call from the grandmother about the father taking and abducting the 10-year-old from her house. And from there, we got another call this morning. DSS got involved, and that's all we've done all day long. All right, well, I know it's good work for you. Clinton City Police, Highway Patrol, SBI, a lot of folks.
FBI was involved, SBI, Clinton PD, Social Services was involved. The social worker has been with us all day up until we turned the child over to her. So she was out here with us, too.
All right. Sheriff, we appreciate you talking with us.
Yes,
Thank you so much. Once again, David, great news here in Sampson County. The 10-year-old is found safe. The father and the woman that was with him also in custody. Good ending here just before it got dark, and it's going to get cold tonight. Great news.
Yeah, Gilbert, obviously these stories don't always end this way, so we'll continue to follow this with more information throughout the night. Gilbert Bays live in Sampson County. We also need to talk about winter weather. There's a chance of snow tomorrow night.
Meteorologist Mike Mays is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center to tell us what to expect and when. Mike?
Well, David, Deborah, like past events, this is the opportunity to see some snow, but it's not going to be the big one. Don't think it's going to be the one where you're going to go sledding and build big snowmen. Now, we have 2 rounds of precipitation. This low moves in closer to us in the morning and brings some rain. It's this upper level low that has the cold air with it that will be chasing the moisture away. And as it does so, we'll see the rain switch over to snow before it ends. So not promising to be a big event, but perhaps an event that will drop some snow. Tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, showing futurecast, some rain in the area. By 11 o'clock, we begin to see a changeover in our northern counties. By 1 a.m., many of us could see snow coming on down. Keep in mind, though, that the ground temperatures are in the 40s. The air temperatures are above freezing. So for this to accumulate, it's going to have to come down very hard. But once it slows down, it would likely melt. By 3 a.m., still some light snow coming on down. And by Thursday morning at 5 a.m., the snow is moving out. And by the time we wake up Thursday morning at 8 a.m., the snow is over. It's windy and it is cold. So what we're talking about, the timeline, midnight through about 8 a.m. on Thursday morning. Upper level low will energize the surface area of low pressure offshore. So far, there's no advisory in place just yet, but there is a potential for light accumulation. We'll discuss probabilities, Deb, of seeing snow coming up in about 15 minutes.
Okay, Mike, we will see you then. And this is a good time to make sure your WRAL apps are downloaded and up to date. We use the news and weather apps to bring you complete coverage during a weather event. In the last 90 minutes, President Biden announced states will receive more doses of vaccines than they expected next week. That's one of the changes today at the federal, state, and local levels that will impact your ability to find that first shot in the area. WRAL's Mark Boyle is in the live center for details on the president's announcement. Mark?
Deborah, today, all of these new numbers coming out, it expects now to have a better picture of when we can get the vaccine and also how much vaccine. The president's saying today, by the end of the summer, he wants to be able to vaccinate up to 300 million Americans. Here's part of that briefing today from the White House.
We will increase overall weekly vaccination distributions to states, tribes, and territories from 8.6 million doses to a minimum of 10 million doses. Starting next week, that's an increase of 1.4 million doses per week. This is going to allow millions of more Americans to get vaccinated sooner.
So upping the supply to the states. On your screen, here's some other key bullet points and takeaways here. So we're going to increase the weekly supply to states from 8.6 million to 10. Increasing transparency. States are going to know what's coming. The states will have a 3-week forecast of supply shipment. We've talked about this story before. The health departments have no idea what's going to be coming in the mail. Now they can put it on the calendar and know exactly what's showing up 3 weeks out. Back to you.
As the president said, help is on the way. Mark Boyle in the Live Center, thank you. And Dr. Mandy Cohen says when any additional doses arrive, North Carolina is ready to put them to use and announced new guidance to vaccine providers today.
I want to make sure that we are going to be ready to say to the federal government, yes, we can take this right now today and we can get it out quickly. So I think we're working through all of those details.
The state now plans to distribute vaccines based on the population size of a county. A portion of the doses will be set aside for more vulnerable or marginalized populations and also to counties that have received little to no vaccines in the last few weeks.
And here at home, we're learning new details tonight about the Triangle's first mass vaccination site. The state is working with Durham County to create a clinic that could vaccinate as many as 17,000 people a week. WRAL's Durham reporter Sarah Kruger broke the news of the site last night in a push alert from our app. She's joining us live at the county health department with more specifics. Sarah.
David, the health department here is eyeing early February as the target date to open this site. And I want to share some new information with you all. I just got off the phone right before this live shot with the CEO of the RTP Foundation, and he told me it is his understanding that the county is really honing in on putting this mass vaccination site somewhere in RTP. He says he's gotten a call from the county as well as several other companies in RTP. He says he believes the county wants it to be as accessible to as many people as possible.
We've seen video of the mass vaccination site at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Now the Triangle is getting a mega site of its own.
I'm super excited to hear that. You know, the only way to start tackling this problem is to, start actually tackling it and getting people in and vaccinated.
The site will be a partnership with the state, Durham County, and Fidelity Investments, which has a large office in RTP. A company spokesperson says Fidelity is looking at ways to help with vaccine distribution and logistics, potentially using its facilities.
We all want to get back to a normal lifestyle here.
Rachel Sanders lives in Durham and loves that the site will be in her county. She also says it's a good choice to make an impact.
But I know there's a lot of people of color here, and I think that's a really good thing and we're some of the most hit groups of this pandemic.
The Durham health director says another vaccine site is also in the works. OptumServe, which has run many testing sites, plans to open a vaccination site in Durham too. That one would vaccinate just over 1,000 people a day. Health officials scoped out Brogdon Middle School as a possible location.
I have been thinking it'll probably take a while because I'm 23 and not in any sort of high risk group, and so the more people that can get vaccinated, the quicker, I think is great.
And the Durham Health Department says it is still working out all of the logistics for this mass site. When they do have information, they will be posting it right here on their website. That will include how to make an appointment. But at this point, it is all too early for that just yet. David.
In the meantime, progress being made. Sarah Kruger in Durham. So let the WRAL app and WRAL.com help you in your search for available first doses of COVID vaccines. We have a county-by-county listing of the numbers and websites you need to find on area wait lists.
Well, in the last half hour, the North Carolina Highway Patrol has responded to our questions about a video of an arrest in Nash County that has now gone viral. Witnesses say the trooper beat the man with a flashlight for no reason. WRAL's Amanda Lamb joins us live with what the patrol had to say. Amanda?
Deborah, I'm going to read their statement. They said, "We are aware of the videos that you have provided us and are appropriately looking into the matter pursuant to our normal protocol. Any use of force incident goes through a methodical review process." Now, there are thousands, actually hundreds of thousands of encounters between the Highway Patrol and drivers on the highways in North Carolina every year. Most of them are peaceful, but in this incident, the family and friends of this Nash County man say this arrest turned violent. This video of Christopher Lynch getting beaten by a trooper in Nash County with a flashlight during a drunk driving arrest has gone viral. So much so that even Hollywood actors like Alyssa Milano and Mark Ruffalo are weighing in online.
He was like, "I don't trust you. I don't want to get in the car with you."
Tanisha Wahowington doesn't know Lynch. She happened to be nearby and saw the encounter. It was taped by several other witnesses. Howington first sees Lynch on the ground, face down, with the officer on top of him.
He was telling them it hurted him because he was like, "Man, that hurts."
Then a passerby jumps in to help the officer.
Some guy just come out of nowhere and get down there with him, put his knee in his back. He's telling him, like, "Why is you letting this guy do that? It hurts."
Lynch refuses to put his legs in the officer's car because he is scared, his family tells us. That's when the officer beats him with the flashlight.
He pulled it out. He was beating him on the knees with it. But before he did that, the thing that the camera didn't catch was he punched him in his face. His hands was behind his back. He was in the car.
Now, Lynch was arrested. He was charged with driving while impaired, driving with a revoked license, failure to stop for blue lights, possession of an open container, and resisting arrest. He was taken to jail and held on a $5,000 bond. And, of course, the investigation into this incident will continue. Deborah.
Amanda Lamb live in Raleigh. Thanks, Amanda.
Hundreds of new jobs coming to Wake County. When we come back, we'll let you know which website to watch for the job postings. And a Cary HOA telling residents to take these Trump flags down by tomorrow. The residents say, no way. We're live to explain the dispute.
Ahead for us, Dr. Fauci on the race to get ahead of coronavirus as it continues to mutate. Also, why vaccinating poor countries may be key to our own success against COVID when we see you back here tonight.
Senator Patrick Leahy is in the hospital tonight. This was a photo today. He was set to preside over the trial of the impeachment of President Donald Trump. Tonight, he is in doctor's care. His spokesperson releasing the statement on your screen right now, talking about how things unfolded this afternoon. According to his spokesperson, Senator Leahy was in his Capitol office and was not feeling well. So out of an abundance of caution, the attending physician recommended that he be taken to a local hospital. Again, right now, he is in the hospital being treated. Not sure exactly how this is going to impact the trial going forward, as the senator was set to preside over the hearings. Back to you.
We'll follow up on any condition changes. All right, Mark, thank you. Well, this flag is at the center of a fight in a Cary neighborhood tonight between the HOA and residents who want to show their support for former President Trump. The flags are still flying despite the HOA threatening fines starting tomorrow. WRAL's Joe Fisher is live at the Carolina Preserve Subdivision. And Joe, those neighbors say they feel targeted.
Deborah, the Cherico family tells me they first put up this Trump flag back in September, and when they did get some pushback from the HOA that eventually faded away. That is until last week when the HOA changed its bylaws, banning political flags. Lori and Ross Cherico proudly fly this flag.
I am a true patriot.
That promotes their belief in the right to bear arms.
I believe in our Constitution, our amendments. I believe in people's right to express their feelings.
Including their support for Donald Trump.
I don't want to bring left and right into it, but I feel like if you're not left, you're not right. And I am entitled to my opinion.
The couple says the flag is in compliance with mounting and size regulations outlined in the Carolina Preserve HOA bylaws. But flag rules changed last week to include this line saying, quote, any flag that falls within the definition of a political sign is not allowed. You don't view this as a political sign?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Neither do their neighbors, Frankie and Randy Delfani, who fly the same flag.
Changing a rule to violate your constitutional rights is not their authority, in my opinion.
They believe their right to free speech is being violated. Do you think that these rules were changed specifically because of this flag?
Yes, I do. I think it's bullying and harassment. It's a case of overreach.
The Cherokos feel attacked by the HOA, which back in 2014 demanded they take down this security sign reading "Nothing inside is worth dying for." They changed the sign to come into compliance, and 7 years later, it remains. They say the Trump flag will also stay put, despite the HOA threatening $50 a day fines starting Wednesday.
I will not roll over and play dead.
And we have been trying all day to get in touch with Christine Hast. She is the general manager of the HOA. We were told that she declined to comment, but the Cherokoo family providing us with this letter that they received from the HOA's attorney just in the past 15 minutes or so, saying that this flag is in violation of their new rules starting tomorrow, and they will only be fined after a hearing. I can tell you that this family, both families in this neighborhood, do plan to appeal this decision.
Joe Fisher, live in Cary. Thanks, Joe.
Penny Mac announced today it's coming to the Triangle. The national lending company will create more than 300 jobs when it builds a mortgage center in Cary. Average salary, about $64,000. No word yet when the company plans to begin hiring. Okay, Mike, come Thursday morning, can we make a snowball?
If you try very hard, maybe you could. Hey, the last snow event we had on a Friday night, we were able to manage little baby snowmen, and that might be the case with this. This is not going to be a big event. We'll explain why coming up. Take a look at downtown Clinton. You guys had a pretty milder afternoon than what we had here in the Triangle. You were in the 50s. We stayed in the 40s here in the Raleigh area. But you also have some fog, so watch out for some fog that could be dense in spots through the evening and overnight. Right now in Clinton and Sampson County, you're at 52, 53 in Fayetteville, 46 in Raleigh. We did not warm up because our warm front never got here, and we should be a little warmer tomorrow if we have sufficient sunshine. We're forecasting low 50s for highs. So hour by hour forecast this evening, cloudy to perhaps some fog, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Temperatures remain in the 40s, and by 6 and 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're watching a wave of low pressure right now that's at the Gulf Coast. Should start to bring rain in the area by 6 and 7 a.m. You will need your rain gear for the morning commute, especially if you're in the southern counties. So here's Futurecast starting tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. There's the next wave of low pressure. That's the rain that's coming in with it. Now, if this was going to be a big snow event, we'd already have a lot of cold air in places. The moisture would come on in. It would start as snow and end as snow. But this is going to start as rain and end as snow as colder air chases away the moisture. And when we have cold air following moisture, it doesn't tend to be a big snow event. So like the previous snow events, we'll see some snow, maybe a light dusting, maybe a ½ inch in some locations, and that's about it. Now, we're going to watch to see how this upper level low energizes the surface low. Once it gets offshore, if it tends to intensify rapidly, we may start to see bands of precipitation setting off to the north and west. And with that colder air coming in, we're going to see the changeover. There's midnight Thursday morning, starting to see the changeover by 3 a.m. Snow across the area where you see the darker blue. That's where some of the snow could be the heaviest, and then by 8 a.m. Thursday morning, the snow begins to move out into the area. Ground temperatures are too warm for this to really be a big issue. Air temperatures should be above freezing as the snow comes on down, so it's not likely to be a big issue. Like previous snow events, it may just be a novelty, and that's about it. Once the system moves out, it's windy and cold on Thursday, 45, morning lows Friday and Saturday in the low 20s. We're talking about hard freezes, and there's another event coming Sunday night, and Monday that bears watching as well. Deb, right now we're just showing some rain, but that could be frozen as well. So keep checking back tonight at 10 on Fox 15, 11 on WRAL. We'll have new models to look at showing what could occur tomorrow night.
We're trying to eke out some semblance of winter here. Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Next in sports, find out what Canes captain Jordan Stahl has to say about the COVID-19 hiatus.
Oh, Captain, my captain, how are you feeling? Well, looks like the Carolina Hurricanes captain Jordan Staal, he's feeling fine, and today he, along with the rest of the Hurricanes, returned to practice. After the Canes' first game, Staal was the first player on the team to test positive, and from there, a string of 5 other players joined him on the COVID-19 list, and 4 games postponed. But the Canes on track to get back on the ice on Thursday, while Staal just hates that this whole thing started with him.
No one wants to be that guy, and clearly that was me. I mean, for the most part, bringing it in the room, and I was trying to be safe, and it's unfortunate. I feel bad for the guys that are sitting in the hotel rooms right now. It's not fun, and we all knew this was a possibility, or maybe a better way to put it is probability that it was something like this was going to happen, and unfortunately, it got us right away.
Canes are scheduled to take on the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning, in their home debut on Thursday. That puck is supposed to drop at 7 o'clock on Thursday. But before that, their building mates, NC State, will host Wake Forest. The Wolfpack had their own COVID-19 hiatus, which was followed by a loss at North Carolina on Saturday. Up next is another in-state ACC opponent, Wake Forest, on Wednesday night. With the Deacs recently getting their first ACC win, they're studying the Wolfpack offense so they can try to get win number 2.
I'm more afraid of us just giving them easy baskets, and that helps their offense. But they're not a real pass offense. They're going to beat you off the dribble, and they're going to ball screen you, and they're going to get going downhill. We can't let the ball get in the middle of the court. We've got to try to contain it.
Tonight, North Carolina would try to get their 6th win in 7 games. They'll be on the road taking on the Pitt Panthers. This game tips off at 7 o'clock. And will Duke be able to snap a 3-game losing streak? They'll have to if they want to avoid falling under 500 for the year. They're hosting Georgia Tech tonight at 9 o'clock. A lot of things to look out for today, and hopefully we'll get some Canes action back on Thursday.
Hopefully. Chris, thank you, and thank you for joining us. Nightly News is up next. Then on our news at 7, we'll take you back to Sampson County to check on the little 10-year-old who was found less than an hour ago okay.
We hope you join us tonight for our news at 10 on Fox 50 and at 11 here on WRAL as well. Have a great night, everybody.